South Bend. Marcus Freeman's kicking ass. Notre Dame destroyed the Syracuse Orange. Irish. Woo! Thank you everyone for joining the Fighting Irish Faithful show. So I have to explain the DuckTales theme. All right. It's not just because I'm, a Disney person. I mean, I like Disney, don't get me wrong. But it's that we destroyed Syracuse. Okay. I've never seen Notre Dame come out and just completely dominate from the get-go. Okay. I don't even know how many plays it was into the game when we got a pick six. Okay. So we'll talk about that. So I made references to Notre Dame, Scrooge McDuck in the money bin. And so that explains the DuckTales theme. And I was drunk and running my mouth on Twitter. And I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just going to stick to my word. And there are probably a million other songs that are much better than this one. But hey, this is what we're going to do. And quite frankly, I'm in a good mood. So thank you, everyone, for joining the Fighting Irish Faithful show on X. Well, I'm at Faithful_Irish on X, but live on YouTube. So thank you very much. And Season 6, Episode 18, Volume 170 of all time. And we are very proud to still be part of Dos Leprechauns Media. So thank you, everyone, for being part of us today. And happy Thanksgiving. We are titling this show No Senioritis Vs Syracuse. Clearly, that was not the case on senior night. So we got Fivers on mute first. We'll bring Fivers on first. We'll find your walk-up music somewhere here.
Nah, I'm gonna be pretty quick anyway.
All right, well here we're still gonna do it. What's up, Fivers, man?
What's up? I haven't been on in a little while.
That's all good, man. Hey, the prayers to you and everything you're dealing with right now. So I'll just put it that way.
All right, thanks.
But I mean, we whooped that Syracuse ass like they owe us money. That's for sure.
Yeah, I don't think there's a verb in the English language that can describe how much ass we kicked. That was brutal.
We ran out of belts in the first quarter. It's so bad.
We broke it in the first quarter.
It's so bad. I my wife's like, I kind of feel a little bad, and then one of our friends on X was like, is this like Miami beating Notre Dame, and Jerry Faust's last game? I'm like, these are the kind of comparisons that are coming out with a 70-7 destruction of the Orange. It almost was 70-0. I mean, it was 77-0 at one point.
Pity points.
Pardon?
It was the pity points at the end.
The second stringers are in or whatever. It
was the prep team that was in there.
It is it's play all the seniors. That's what's going on, obviously. So
yeah, no one's ever seen in this lifetime Notre Dame score 7.
I've never seen anything like that. That was wild. It was a wild game. I'm just I think I went live at one point during the game, and I was just like, okay, and we had already had our first pick six, and this was the blocked punt. I didn't actually see it because I was dicking around on Twitter, and then I just see us all of a sudden, we have the ball, and we're running in for a touchdown. I'm like, wait, did they do a fake punt? I didn't see the block. I had to watch the replay to see that, actually. So,
yeah. It was... That pick six by Jalen Stroman was kind of, I think it brought everybody up because Tay Johnson just went out and he immediately came in and filled the role.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just I think 2022 versus Syracuse where it was the first or second play and it was a pick six to open up the game.
Okay, so I just brought it up here. It's the second play of the game here. Kickoff, okay, fine. First play, Syracuse, -2 yards rushing. Second play, interception, touchdown, Notre Dame.
And then Jalen Stroman came in again on a block, and then Luke Tallis returned it for a touchdown.
Yeah.
And then I remember
and then they go 3 and out, right? We block the punt. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Tallis blocks it, right?
Like we got like Dad, we're down. They're down 14-0. The offense hasn't touched the ball,
No.
and well, then a drive later, Leonard Moore gets a pick six, and I'm like, hey, Dad, it's 21-0. The offense hasn't even stepped on
Correct.
the field. It was really funny because I was talking with some friends and whatnot, and it was like,
Just go tell
it's
the
21.
offensive line to just go eat donuts at this point
Yeah,
because
it
we
was
don't need you
21-0.
today.
That Syracuse offense already wanted to go home, and like they haven't even played 5 minutes yet.
They're like, oh dear
And,
God, what kind of a night are we in for? So
and,
I feel really bad for the seniors of Syracuse. Anyone who
yeah,
traveled to Syracuse. We'll get my aunt on here who's got some Syracuse allegiance there. Although she's all Irish, which is great. But no, I'm with you. It's almost like an embarrassment of riches with this game. And like this is the kind of game you would want against like Sparty, or even I would even say Purdue, just because we have history with them, or obviously USC, but like when it's a team like Syracuse, like I'll put it this way, that I
it's
have,
still a Power Four team.
it is a Power 4 team, which we keep track of in the spreadsheet here. For me personally, when I was a student, right, as a grad student in the 08-09 years, those are the last 2 years of Weiss, okay? We lost senior game, both of those games. One was the Syracuse game, and the other one was the horrible UConn game, okay? And we should have won both of them. So to beat Syracuse at home rights a lot of wrongs for me personally. I wasn't a football player, obviously, so I can't relate clearly. But at the same time, I did have to experience some of that sort of pain. So there it is.
Whenever, like, the last couple of times we've played Syracuse, there's always been some wild thing that happened. I mean, this year was crazy. We played them in 2022. That
Wearing
opening pick six
Yankees
was crazy.
jerseys in 2018. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm mixed on that one, but
Oh,
that's a
I
different
don't
topic.
like them. I don't like them. Where's 5'0" pod when we need them, right?
Yeah, I that's a topic for a different. But in 2016, amidst our shit of a season, it was like 5 minutes, and we had like it was what 26-13 or something within 5 minutes of the game. So that was pretty cool too.
2016. No, 2016. I don't think we played Syracuse.
Yeah, we did.
Was it? It was a 4-8 season. Did we actually win that game? I don't know.
Yeah, we beat Syracuse. But I remember
Syracuse
it was
must have been a down year for them. And that.
no, I searched it up. They went like I think either 9-3 or
Are
something
you
that
really
year.
gonna make me look this up? Oh my
I
gosh!
looked it up like a couple days ago. I'm not sure. Maybe I'm.
I mean, I
Maybe I
believe
missed.
you that we.
I'm on
See,
Wikipedia right now.
okay, good. I'm looking at my spreadsheet here. I've got. Oh, that's the wrong year. Yeah, I guess we did win. Oh man, we kicked their ass, 50-33. Although allowing opponent. And we're back, baby, after we lose it to Duke. Yeah. Oh, was that a Carrier Dome game? It doesn't say whether it was home or away, but regardless, we did beat Syracuse in 2016. Hooray! Them in Nevada, Army, and I think we beat Miami that year too.
I think we beat Miami that. Yeah.
Suck it, you.
Oh no, okay. Both Notre Dame and Syracuse went 4-8 that season.
Syracuse went 4-8. Okay.
Yeah. And in 2016, played them in Syracuse.
Okay.
So,
all right.
But yeah, I mean, I thought it was 42-0 at the end because it was like 1 yard through the touchdown, right? And I texted my dad. I'm like, he's like, did the first quarter end yet? And I'm like, yeah. What's the score? And I go, it's 42-0. And he goes, that you got to be joking. And I sent him a picture, and it was after they scored the sixth touchdown. And I'm like, this isn't real.
This is crazy.
It was really true. And I was talking with some people online with my dad, and I'm like, this is the worst thing to happen to New York since 9/11. I mean, it was.
Oh God.
Dude, what we're doing to them, dude? It was a massacre.
It's really bad. It was really bad. Well, I'm glad that the Irish on senior night, left no doubt. Clearly there's no senioritis per se with the Irish on senior night, so that's good. happy for these guys to be in. And what's great is this is Freeman's 4th year, so these seniors, if they started and they didn't redshirt or whatever, they've had Freeman the entire time now. So, so there's probably a few guys that remember Kelly potentially as there, but now we're kind of hitting our stride here of just Freeman's guys.
No one's been with Kelly, yeah.
So
recruited by Marcus Freeman.
Yes, exactly. So, and what's interesting about that is, if we had Irish JTL, we'd talk a little recruiting here. But, if we jump over to, let's just bring that up. Why not? Since we're on the topic.
I think we're 4th. We're ahead of Ohio State. I know that.
Yeah, we're looking really good here. Oh, golly. All right. 2026 recruiting class. We are 4th on 20. I like 24/7 Sports. That's just me. We're composite 4th right now, and it's looking really, really good for the Irish. To be top 5 is where you want to be from a national champion average kind of scenario here, and we can prove that. So, Fivers, did you? Obviously, I don't think you predicted the beatdown against Syracuse. Yeah, national champion average for your recruiting is 5.6, so you want to be in that 5 space and less, 6 or less, right? Fivers, with respect to Stanford, let's do a little foreshadowing here because I'm sure you got other stuff to do tonight, but I do want to get your thoughts on Stanford. Do you think that Stanford is dog shit, with their interim coach, and some of their stats are actually worse than Syracuse? But where you want to go with this?
I got a 45-10 victory.
Okay.
I had a dream, I think, last night or 2 nights ago, where Jeremiah Love rushed for like 600 yards, and I'm like, you know what? If that happens, I think that's.
I think he'll win the Heisman if he rushes for 600 yards.
I think that's a record.
We may have to have someone else Google that. We won't do that. Fivers, anything else we need to know? I'm not trying to kick you off, but I do want to try to keep this short and sweet tonight.
Yeah, I think every year ending in 5 a running back is one. I think we got to keep that. Notre Dame's all about tradition, and we got to keep that tradition going. And Jeremiah Love, I think, they just need to keep feeding him the ball.
Amen.
And yeah, and once he gets over the 300 mark, then maybe we can let Price in. But we got to keep feeding him the ball.
How many rushing yards did he have in this game? I actually don't know that. We'll have to look.
He had 8 carries for 171 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Here we go. Love. Yep, 171.
Averaged 21.4 yards per carry.
Right now he has 1,300 basically yards, which is great.
That's just rushing too. He has like 1,500 if you include the pass.
Yeah, I'm on the wrong tab here on ESPN with respect to all-purpose yards, but no, you're 100% right. Right now, 1,300 yards, and that's just in 11 games versus last year. All the games we played, he had 1,125. So he's averaging more. He has the same amount of rushing touchdowns now that he had at the end of all of last season, 17. So good on him there.
I mean, I see people online comparing him to Reggie Bush and Walter Payton and Derrick Henry, and I'm like, come on. Like, those are like the top 3 like most famous running backs.
Yeah, and it's funny, as I was curious about this. I've been kind of hesitant on the whole Heisman thing, but with this performance by him consistently, Grant, Syracuse sucks, but at the same time, we shouldn't take anything away from Jay Love. I think the spin move against Pitt really opened some eyeballs, and then to see him just run away from other Division I athletes
untouched too.
It's crazy, and it's like, it doesn't even look like he's trying. Like, I'm not saying he's not trying, but like, he doesn't have to like have this tremendous effort to break away from people. You know what I mean? So, and Stanford's not gonna do jack shit. Quite frankly, they are horrible in a lot of statistics. So
I heard they got like a pretty solid rush defense, but I mean that's what they said about Pitt as well.
I mean, their record kind of speaks for itself. But with respect to, like, I'll say this: Syracuse's offense is or not Syracuse. Well, it is awful, but they only got 7 points against us. Stanford's offense is terrible. Okay, we'll talk more about that later. But I want to stay on Jay Love. I imagine he will get featured because this is the last opportunity for some game film per se for those Heisman people and the media or whatever. It's the last game for him to make a splash, so I expect him to be featured more in this game. If I was coach, I certainly would do that, obviously within context and reason. I predict that he's going to have 2 touchdowns and 1 hurdle. So
I want to see a hurdle.
If he has a hurdle, that's a Heisman moment, right? He hasn't really had too many this year. Like last year, I feel like it was more. This year,
because people are figuring them out.
I think so, but I think that has kind of become his signature move, if I may say. I'm a personal fan of the juke. You know, I feel like we're talking about the best rushing moves here, but
no, for me it's just a good old truck or the stiff arm.
You like the Mack truck?
I like just plowing.
You like the Ray Zellers versus Purdue? Do you know what I'm talking about? You know. We're gonna pull that up right now. Here, hold on a second. Here, let's jump over to YouTube. All right, let's do this. We're gonna do this. Okay, Ray Zellers, Purdue. Boom shakalaka. Yes, there it is. I want a quick one. I don't want a crazy long one, but yeah, let's do this one.
Notre Dame is number 1.
Notre Dame with a miracle win as the
He's going in. Notre Dame has scored.
Handoff sweeping left, getting up to the 40 to the 45. It's Zellers.
Mack truck. Hurdle. Go, baby.
Down the race to the goal line. He's at the 20, the 10, the 5. He makes a touchdown.
Touchdown, Irish.
By Ray Zellers. 62 yards.
What a great fucking play. What a great moment in Notre Dame history. All right.
Yeah.
Fivers, I love that. That was great. I love OBS. I love being able to do that live on the podcast and share with the people on YouTube. That's great. Anything else you want to leave us with? Otherwise, we're going to jump over to Mac, who's patiently waiting.
Okay. I'm going to say an injured Angeli could have done way better for Syracuse than what they put out this past week. But other than that, keep making sure you're voting for Love in the Heisman fan vote.
I got to jump on that.
And then that's it. So
Good.
I can't watch the game on Saturday, unfortunately, because I'm going to be in a plane.
Okay.
And then driving home. So, but
Understood.
I'll definitely watch the full game.
So clearly you're doing like a red-eye flight, if that's the case.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking 10:30 kickoff. Like, seriously? Like, that's what they're going to give Notre Dame? Dicks.
I thought I was going to be able to make it when I was actually happy with 10:30. I was like, oh, maybe I'll get home and watch it. And
right.
Then I checked the flight, and I'm like, fuck. It's stupid. But
it's actually a bad time for you. I will probably put my children to bed. I will probably take a nap, and then I will wake up to watch the game. And my sleep schedule will be all fucked. But, I haven't actually talked to the doc on what we're doing for Mass. We may go to Mass on Saturday, or maybe we'll do Sunday evening. I don't know. All right. Fivers, really appreciate you, my friend. Enjoy your time. Have a blessed Thanksgiving.
You too. Happy Thanksgiving,
Happy
everybody.
Thanksgiving, Fivers. All right, Fivers, you are the professor of the Fighting Irish Faithful Show. Thank you so much. Let's go over to our specialist of special teams. Now, Mac, I have to say this. We'll still bring your walk-up music. Don't get me wrong. But the point I'm making here is I'm getting some shots across the bow from Spotify with respect to your walk-up music. They don't like that it's Leonard Skinner. So, no, we're not monetized yet on Dos Leprechauns. So this is a good opportunity if you haven't subscribed to the Dos Leprechauns YouTube channel. By all means. Mac, what the hell?
There he goes.
Oh, there he is. He's coming back. All right. At his speaker. It's funny. After being a listening participant on Mac's show, now I understand better the time delay, and so I'm going to be a lot more sympathetic to y'all. It's taken me how many years to come around the bend on this one? But yes, Mac, we may have to change your walk-up theme when Dose Leprechauns, our YouTube channel gets monetized. We're not there yet. We're at sitting, I think, at a 711 subscribers. The magic number is 1,000, so we need 200 plus more people. I don't know if the show is necessarily moving the needle, but we'll give it a shot.
All right. How are you?
Dude, I'm doing
How's everybody?
fantastic, dude. I'm sure you're excited since you can see the Irish live.
Yes, we will be I'll be doing the podcast live. We'll be in the Stuber Stadium, rugby stadium parking lot. I'm arriving at 9 a.m. 9 a.m. setting
9
up.
9 a.m. Central Time, 9 a.m. Pacific Time.
Pacific.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Okay.
9 a.m. We're gonna have. We're starting it off with breakfast with sausage and bacon, breakfast burritos. And then haven't made up my mind if we're gonna do some New York sirloins, some steaks, or if we're gonna do chicken. So.
Well, here's the question: what is your grilling apparatus? Do they allow charcoal in?
I've got a propane grill. I got a propane Weber.
Propane Weber. Okay, but so you're bringing the full-on massive grill?
No. I have
a camping stove kind of thing.
Correct.
Yeah, then, that's what I roll with. Okay, yeah.
And then I also got. Then we also got the what's it called? The stove, the camping stove.
Yes.
So I mean, I could even do brats because I could boil it on the stove.
I would recommend as lessons learned. I mean, if you're gonna be there all day and you don't mind cooking, that's one thing, and you have the ability to boil while you're there. But then you're stuck with hot liquid, so you got to think about that, about how you're gonna get rid of that.
Oh yeah, I mean it's on grass, so
that's my point. Though you're gonna have to. What I have done is I pre-boil the brats at home the night before, and then throw them in a Ziploc, and then you don't even have to mess with that. They're already pre-boiled, they're already cooked, right? But that you just throw them on the grill, get some char, heat them up, and you're done.
Okay.
So you do you, but I'm just saying that's our lessons learned, because I used to do them raw, like grill, and it just take forever. And
makes sense.
We don't do that
But
anymore.
I mean, if we're there from 9, we're not going to pack up until about 5:30. So we've got some time to kill. So
5:30. Well, Stanford's got a
5:30
killer. I guess it depends on how long your walk is. So
it's about a 30-minute walk.
Oh, so it's like being at Purdue.
To the gates, and then probably you got to walk up this hill. It's probably going to take us 45 minutes just to get to our seats.
Good God, man.
Yeah.
But
at least
that's worse than Blue Lot. That's worse than White Field at Notre Dame. Shit, man.
Well, that's if you just. Well, I'm also choosing to pay $35. Where if you get closer, it's $70 to $100. Yeah.
Right.
So, but yeah, we're having the tailgate live. I do want to say, I'm hoping, I do want to say I was surprised by Stanford. They really showed up in the big game.
The big game, yes.
The big game.
The big game versus Cal.
And California fired their coach because of it, and they were bowl eligible. So, just saying, I thought Cal didn't have. They have that Jaden Ott kid.
I was surprised that Stanford beat Cal. I will say that.
I was too, but that tells you that they play up in certain games.
Yeah.
So, okay, Notre Dame should win by a mile,
by a lot. I'm saying 40 plus.
but Stanford might have a little fight in them, so that's good. And anybody who and I have two other things to say, and I want to, and then I'll leave.
No.
One thing, everybody who in the ACC who is talking bad about Stanford, you know what? Look at how many Olympians they send. So if you want to talk about them not being being in a conference and that they're inferior, check how many Olympic athletes do they send compared to yours schools.
Syracuse
and go play them in baseball. Play them in baseball.
Right, like Stanford's 4-7, right? Who did they beat? They just beat Cal, obviously.
That's it, really.
No,
they lost to San Jose State.
No, they beat San Jose State. What are you talking about?
I thought they lost.
No, they beat San Jose State. It's not that.
Oh, did they come back?
Things aren't that bad. You fell asleep. I mean, I looked at their record prior to tonight. Oh, there it is. I knew this would come up because I knew you like to showcase Stanford because you were going to the game and you're a loyal disciple. So they beat Boston College. Hooray. They did beat San Jose State. Florida State was the team that they won that I thought was okay, whatever. They only lost by 5 to North Carolina, but let's face it, North Carolina sucks. And
they have their moments, is what I'm trying to say.
They do. Well, and they lost a nail biter to Hawaii. It's a good thing that Hawaii has an excellent kicker, who probably had at least, I'm going to go on a limb and say had at least 2. No, had three kicks. So that's why Hawaii beat why Hawaii beat the Cardinal there in Honolulu. So I guess the point I'm making is, hooray for Stanford for beating Boston College, a tier 2 hate team of mine. San Jose State, don't care. Florida State, that's the one that's an eyeball catcher because apparently Norvell is not going to get fired from Florida State. And I'm kind of on the fence about that, like whether they should keep him or retain him. I really don't care. I'm kind of agnostic to Florida State. I don't hate Florida State as much as other Notre Dame fans
There's too many openings, really prime openings to fire him this year, in my opinion.
Well, there are, but like they did beat Alabama. The problem with Norvell is the inconsistency. I will say this. Yeah. If he is retained, which it looks like he will be, Norvell is definitely on the hot seat based off of the tumultuous, and maybe Florida State's just like, shit, we haven't fired Norvell yet. Who are we going to get? It is absolute chaos right now in the coaching, realm. Are we really going to beat out Penn State or LSU or, pick a school, right? The list is growing. Do we really want to throw our whole program into that unknown uncertainty, or do we really want to just try Norvell out for one more year? So I think that's what Florida State's going to do. They're going to try Norvell out, but he is numero uno on the hot seat. I will say that. If he does not come out and start ship-shaping the Seminoles, forget about it. You're going to be gone in week 3. Okay.
I also wonder how much is an alumni able to pay? Are they able to outplay?
Yeah, maybe it's a
you know what I mean?
Business decision.
Like the reason Ohio State is going to be good from here on out is because their alumni are going to shell out the money and they have wealthy alumni.
Well, but Ohio State has consistently been like the best team in the Midwest forever. Florida State has not. No, Nebraska hasn't been good since the 90s.
No, that's my point. Is they had a lull, and then they brought in, and then they started buying their teams. But
okay.
I regress. I want to say something, and I don't think it's going to be popular with Notre Dame fans.
Wait, hold on a second. Let me update my scotch here. Continue.
But as someone who likes to debate. Look, I do think I have a fair point. I want to say...
Who? Me or you? Who's the master debater in this situation?
Well, I enjoy debating. From the South... that was funny. That was a good South Park episode.
I used to say that in high school. We said that in high school when I was...
Really?
I did debate freshman year, okay?
Oh, Cartman... that was this season. Cartman would tell his mom, I'm master debating. and because he was trying to be Charlie Kirk. And then they don't show that episode now for obvious reasons.
Yeah. Anyway, check please. Anyway, moving on.
So here's what I was, what I want to say. Look, I want to say I acknowledge the Sagarin, all the reports that say Notre Dame is a better team, and I'm even going to say Notre Dame is a better team. However, here, let me say something.
No.
Let me finish because I'm trying to build up to this. Okay.
All right, I'll shut up.
Okay.
Where's my tape?
So in 1980, you know what? The Russians were better than the Americans in 1980, but the Russians lost, and the Americans got to go play for the gold medal. Miami beat Notre Dame. I know that every statistic says that Notre Dame is a better team. I understand that. However, they have the same record, and they did beat Notre Dame. I think that the Miami fans have a point, and I might somewhat agree with them that maybe Miami should be ahead of Notre Dame. I know that that's not a popular take in Notre Dame land, but sometimes the team that's not as talented wins a lucky game, and therefore they get to go on, if that makes sense. And so I do have a little bit of a problem with the college football rankings. I'm so sorry. Get ready to stone. Please stone me. I'm ready for the reaction.
Okay, Saint Stephen.
I think it's a fair point, though.
So
right?
let me rebuttal with a couple things. So for the clarification, we got this up on the YouTube channel. So Notre Dame, and this is the first time we're talking about this. Playoff rankings, Notre Dame comes out as 9th again, behind Oklahoma, Ole Miss, etc. Okay, Alabama number 10, BYU 11, Miami 12. So let me ask you a question, Mac. Who's the better team, Miami or BYU?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
A 10-1 BYU team versus Miami.
Well, I would put BYU ahead of them because they're 10-1, right?
Okay. So who's better, Miami? No.
But that is a tough question.
Final answer. Okay.
I'm saying that's a tough question. That is a.
You just said
decision.
BYU. We don't need to discuss it anymore.
I did. Okay.
Decision made. Move on. All right. Miami or Alabama? Who's the better team?
What's Bama's record?
9-2. They have 2 losses to a shitty Florida State team and Oklahoma.
I would say Bama.
Okay, so Bama's better than Miami. BYU is better than Miami. Now let me flip the script. Ignore Miami. Who's a better team, Notre Dame or Alabama?
That's a close call. That's very close.
Don't answer that.
Can I tell you? I don't.
No. Who's a better team, Notre Dame or BYU? Who's a better team, Notre Dame or BYU?
I would think Notre Dame.
Okay, so if Notre Dame is better than BYU and BYU is better than Miami, you're pissed about the ranking?
No, look.
I didn't say you were pissed. Maybe that's not the right thing. But like you think
I'm just
it may
saying
be.
I see a point. I see their.
I
point
don't because
Miami.
here's why I don't. This is all right. My turn to talk.
Because I would put BYU. Here's what I would do. I would put BYU ahead of Notre Dame. They have 1 loss.
What? All right. Do I need to go to Sagarin now? We're going to Sagarin.
I understand.
The chart that is Sagarin.
I understand the statistics. I understand what you're talking about. But I think if I was a voter, it would go undefeated teams, 1 loss teams, then 2 loss teams.
That's what Sagarin does. It's all math, okay? It's all based off of record, strength of schedule, and margin of victory, okay? Do you know where BYU is on Sagarin? I know you don't, so I'm going to tell you. They're 20th, and the reason why is their strength of schedule is 36, okay? Which isn't terrible, and I forget who their 1 loss is to, so because I don't care. Okay, I think it was to it wasn't Utah, but it was like Texas Tech or who knows. Don't care. Do you know that Notre Dame is number 2 in Sagarin right now because they fucking pistol whipped Syracuse? They kicked their ass, okay? And Sagarin ranks your most recent games they weigh them heavier than the games in the front. Okay, I'm with you with the head-to-head. It was week 1. Okay, Michigan was making this argument against Notre Dame in the beginning of the 2020. I think it was 2018, the 2018 season, but Notre Dame was undefeated. So I will say that. We had 0 losses and we had beaten Michigan, but I think we were the only loss to Michigan at some point later in the season. And so people were like, oh, Michigan is playing really well and maybe they should be ranked ahead of Notre Dame or whatever. But the problem is, and we've had discussions about this in the past, is that who has Miami lost to? All right. SMU, not good, right? Like it's the recency performance of one school versus the other that I think is showing the trajectory. I'm with you. They beat us on the head-and-head, and those games do matter, okay? I'm with you, okay? Texas A&M keeps winning. That's why Notre Dame's doing well in Sagarin. I'll tell you this. If Texas A&M and Miami were losing games, that would negatively impact Notre Dame in the Sagarin ranking. But Notre Dame is number 2 in Sagarin behind Ohio State. Okay, Oregon's 3, IU, Indiana's 4, Georgia's 5. Nope, we lost Mac. He went on mute here. Sorry, Mac, you're cutting in and out here. But no, I'm with you, Mac. Like I let's go back over here to the rankings. So,
I know what the stats say. I know that statistically speaking, it makes more logical sense to rank Notre Dame ahead of them. I totally agree. I just feel like head-to-head trumps everything.
That's true, but the problem is not all these teams face each other because there's 136 college football teams, and like you only have 12 games, and 3 of them really don't matter. People are playing Mercer and Citadel and whatever, right? So I mean, Notre Dame had to play Purdue and Boston College. They're not so great,
No, but I'm just again before I go, I just want to say I don't like. Because I could see the Twitter war. I don't think it's such a crazy claim that Miami fans are saying that.
Well, I'll say this. Look, if Miami wants to argue that they're better than Notre Dame because they beat them, that's one thing.
Should be higher ranked.
That's like an ace in poker, right? Like, hey, I beat you when I played you the time that we had to play you. Okay, fair. I'm never gonna argue against that. Okay. But what I will say is, Miami, what have you done since? What have you done for me since? Okay, you lost to Louisville by 3 points, and you lost to SMU by 6. Okay, neither of those teams, okay, I don't think are they in the top 25? Okay, SMU is, but Louisville certainly isn't. Okay, SMU is 21. They're 8-3. Okay, and Louisville's not even ranked. Okay, both of Notre Dame's losses, quote unquote, at least that's the quote.
No, I understand.
One's an undefeated team in the SEC, who's number 1 in the SEC. Okay, and the other one, excuse me, is Miami. Right. So, and what has Notre Dame done since? They've pistol whipped everybody they've played. Okay. Maybe one could argue that Miami's schedule since then in the last 5 games has been harder than Notre Dame's. Maybe, I don't know. Like it kind of sucks that Syracuse, Stanford, Arkansas, some of these teams have been real dog shit this year, right? So that's the one thing that concerns me a little bit with Notre Dame. It's like, look, Notre Dame's putting up these great statistics, great numbers. Look at all this yellow and green. Look at the green in column AU here, right? Oh, AU. Oh, that's fun. AU. Any chemistry majors out there? You know what that is? Gold. That's the atomic symbol, I think, of gold there. So there you go. AU is gold. Anyway, point being, nerd alert. Okay. But I guess this is the last thing I wanted to leave with you, Mac. College football is all about ranking teams relative to each other. And if you talk to like press people or people who really still miss the BCS system, those people are delusional. But the whole point of like the discussion and the argument and the drama and the this, that, and the other about ranking teams relative to each other. And what's fun about college football is that there is not a standard like even playing ground, right? Because you have conferences, Oregon doesn't have the same schedule as Alabama. Things are, and it's getting a little more normalized now with the Power Four, but at the same time, one conference is down, one is up, like the ACC is down this year. Big 12 is kind of where they are. SEC is kind of beating themselves up with the exception of a handful of teams. Big 10, there's really only 2 teams that are good right now. So I'd say the Big 10 is down this year with the exception of the two number 1 and number 2 team. But that's it. Like college football is all about ranking teams relative to each other. So you have to say, okay, who's better, this team or this team? And then obviously this show, we're trying to use numbers and data to portray that. What I will do, which I promise I will do, we kind of got this, knowing and with confidence that Notre Dame is going to make the playoffs because we're going to beat the shit out of Stanford and we're going to go into this playoff situation. I think that, excuse me, there'll be the 12 teams here. I probably won't do all 25 plus stats, but we'll do probably top 10 important stats, maybe the top 5, and then some of these other things like yards per point and passing attempts per touchdown, etc.
Sure.
We'll probably do that comparison of Notre Dame versus the other 11 teams in the playoffs to really vet the rankings and the seeding and use that to project Notre Dame's success going forward. I think that'll be a good discussion that we have, in one of these, I don't want to say bye weeks, but prior to whoever we face, whether it's Oklahoma in Norman or whatever it is. So
yeah. Well, anyway, anyone again, we'll be parking on Stuber Field, which is the rugby stadium off of El Camino Real.
El Camino Real, the King's
we
Highway.
Will have come get a piece of my wife's Bailey and Guinness chocolate cake, and we will look for the Vatican flag and the Irish. And the
there you go.
Ireland.
All right.
So, yes.
So are they going to be at the same height? Is one higher than the other? Like
Gee, I don't know, because you got to put Vatican, I would assume, above the Irish flag.
Okay.
Right?
All right. That tell me you're Catholic without telling me you're Catholic. So. I love it.
So anyway,
I roll with the stars and stripes when I tailgate. I have the stars and stripes, and then I'll take the here. Hold on. Well, I don't even need to pull it. See this thing behind me on YouTube here. It's a flag that looks exactly like that. Okay, so that's what we roll with at my tailgates. Just the stars and stripes. I've thought of all sorts of things, anything from a Polish flag to the a Gonzaga flag to a Boise flag. You name it, I've thought of it. Like I'll stick with the stars and stripes and our Fighting Irish faithful.
We will be bringing it into the stadium too. We'll be bringing both flags.
All right, so look for Mac on TV with the Vatican flag.
If you see the Vatican flag,
you might get some TV time. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gonna be almost the equivalent of Pac-12 After Dark, right?
Yes.
That's basically what this game is.
One last thing, if you want playoff tickets, my group, the group that I am organized with, their Sacramento alumni group, They're having a raffle. They have 20 tickets. Let me know. You can enter the raffle.
All right.
It's a $30 donation to get into the raffle, and that goes
That's
to
nothing.
it goes to scholarships. So if you lose the raffle, it goes to charity.
Amen.
So, all right. Have a great day. See you later.
Mac, have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Safe travels if you're traveling. If not, may your cooking and all of that go well. Happy Thanksgiving.
See you. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
All right. Sounds good. All right. Thank you, Mac. We'll jump over to William A. Frazier. I finally got your walk-up music, my friend. It's been a while. It's been in the works, but now we got it. William.
Here we go. Good evening, sir.
I appreciate your walk-up music very much.
Thank you. I appreciate you playing it.
Amen. We scored a touchdown, and here's William to grace us with his voice. What's up, man?
Good evening from the Carolinas. Listen, hey, we're going to do this real quick because I know you probably want to get to bed. I think
We're doing okay. We're not even an hour in right now, technically. So,
in the years that I've been watching Notre Dame, actively watching Notre Dame from the 80s till now, I've never seen such a beat down on any team.
Oh my gosh,
that I can ever imagine. And the fact that Marcus had to say he was apologizing to Stanford's. To whatchamacallit's coach,
Syracuse,
Syracuse coach, and Fran Brown. That they're like, hey, this is nothing personal. We had to do this, and because they had to keep the gas on. They had to, or else. I don't care what anyone says. The playoff committee does look at this shit, and they will factor that shit in.
Well, and to put this in perspective and kind of illustrate this here, Notre Dame ends up with 35 points in the first quarter. Now, if Marcus Freeman is a real dick and we really want it, he's not. But if he wanted to really twist the knife, we could have had 42 points in the first quarter. We were in a position to score. The clock was winding down, and we just kind of let the clock do its thing, whatever. But if we wanted to score another touchdown and make it 42 points in the first quarter, we could have called timeout. He chose not to.
Yes.
I think it's the right thing to do. I think we took a knee almost in the red zone exactly, and when we had the ball, right? So I'd have to double check that. But the point is, we look at the box score here, breakdown by quarter, 35-14, 7-14. Clearly, third quarter, we're taking our foot off the gas, play all the seniors, second string, Minchie gets in there. And another thing I want to say, because this really jumped off to me, the time of possession, it isn't like Notre Dame held the ball, controlled the game the whole time. No. Notre Dame had shitty time of possession in this game. 18 minutes. 18 versus Syracuse's 41. 41 and change.
Minutes.
So it's that is a team that is, we don't even have to try, and we're kicking your fucking ass. Okay, that's what this game was.
Right, and the thing is that I understand why the previous commenter talked about Miami, and he's fallen for the Miami sound machines narrative, which is a bunch of crap because. You have to look at how complete a team is to be in for their rankings. You're going to sit there and tell me that if we go head to head now, we haven't learned from the lessons of our past. They clearly have.
Notre Dame clearly is a different football team. Just look at the amount of defense. Forget the offense. Look at the defense. Look how much better the defense is, and that's what's destroying teams right now. We're taking the life out of our opponent, not with the offense, but with the defense. The offense is one of the situations where The O-line is clicking. The running game is going. And it's almost embarrassing to look at the passing production of CJ Carr in these last few games, because he basically doesn't have to throw.
He doesn't have to.
He doesn't have to. And as a champion of RTDB, run the damn football, if your running game is working, why the fuck would you pass? You don't have to pass, right? So if there's an even better if that I'm going to say with this game against Syracuse, is that I wish, Carr had a better day and, we were passing it a little bit better, and just from a numbers and statistics and whatever. But at the same time, it's like, look, we know Carr can pass. We know he can throw the ball on a frozen rope. And look, I would be a hypocrite if I said that, we have to do that. No, you don't have to do that. If the running game is working, why would you do anything else? You don't have to. So it's a less risk averse thing to do on offense. It wears down a defense much more, that's for sure. It gives so much more pep in the step of your O-line. You go talk to any O-lineman, anyone who ever played offensive line, what's the best thing? A big run. Those big boys love a big run and just smashing someone, creating a big hole. That's what O-linemen dream of at night, with their teddy bears. Okay.
Right. And
they don't dream of pass blocking. I guarantee you that.
and to get on top of what you're saying here, that's why I think Notre Dame is better than Miami, because they do not have the running capabilities and a defense. Because when you can RTB it, man, and then have a solid defense, you are controlling the freaking the whole game on both sides, because defense runs championships, baby.
Amen.
And when they're all clicking, you're RTBing, man. You're going to freaking lighten the load on the freaking quarterback to not have to feel so much pressure. And we have to remember this young man is still a freshman. He's a redshirt freshman, still a freshman. And freshmen are going to make mistakes, and he clearly has made mistakes this season. With some errant throws and pressured throws, but that's okay. We have to accept that. But I guarantee you, when we face USC in 2027 at home, he's not going to be this way. He's going to be on top of it.
We'll see a different CJ Carr, number 13, coming out of the
tunnel.
William, I got a question for you. How many completions did Notre Dame have as a team versus Syracuse?
I know the yardage was sub 50 yards, and I want to say it was like 4 completions.
It's not that bad. Okay. Notre Dame, not just CJ Carr, all of the team.
Oh,
including
okay,
Minshew.
I want to say 7.
We had 9 completions.
9 completions, but what was the total amount of yardage, passing yards?
Passing yards is terrible, actually. It's 67.
67.
Syracuse at 95.
What was Carr's total passing?
Great question. Give me 2 seconds. This is where we need the 50.
I want to say it was 49.
Let's go box score, ESPN. Let's see here. CJ Carr, 49, correct. 5 of 9.
Yeah.
Well done.
So yeah, it's not something you're going to put on your stat sheets, but it still counts. But hey, look, I want to get out of here, get you off here, but I'm really wondering your thoughts on does Marcus Freeman encourage Love to knock it out of the park, or are they going to kind of pull back on it for team glory? You know what I'm saying?
Well, I think there will be team glory regardless in Palo Alto. Stanford is not good. All right, Notre Dame is 98.7% likelihood of winning per teamrankings.com. They were 99 last week, so that delta of 0.3%, I don't think it's going to matter. Right now, the spread, when I checked, was 32.5. So, I mean, And there's a lot of statistics that Stanford's dog shit, and I do think Syracuse is a worse team than Stanford, but Stanford is not good, right? So you talk about padding stats at the end of the season. This is what can do it. So back to your question about Jay Love. As I said earlier, I think he will have 2 rushing touchdowns and he will have one hurdle. He needs another Heisman moment to really, drive home, because this is the last game, the last opportunity he has to put things on film for the people that make these decisions. So, and quite frankly, we need, Mendoza or whatever the fuck his name is down at IU to have a bad game against Purdue, even though I want IU to beat Purdue because that's what we do in this household. And nothing satisfied. Well, that's not true. It's fun to rub it into my coworkers because a lot of them went to Purdue. So
I think there's too many Notre Dame haters as far as those writers go to allow him to win.
Yeah, well, and I think the fact that he's not a quarterback is really what is gonna impact him.
It's not,
well, let me say it another way. To be fair to IU's quarterback, what's his record? It's undefeated. You know what I'm saying? Like that's hard to beat. And IU's doing really well. You could argue that they have had a tougher go at it. Look, gosh, when's the Big Ten championship game? If that Big Ten championship game is right before the December 13th Heisman decision, maybe that is 2 opportunities for said individual. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's he has to have a bad night, and even like. Let me say it another way. There's only like 3 people potentially that could take the Heisman, I think, in front of Jay Love, right? It's the IU quarterback, I think I'm saying his name right, over at Ohio State, and then whoever the fuck the quarterback is of Alabama. Okay, those 3 guys.
What about Vanderbilt's quarterback?
No, Vandy, are you kidding me? No, I don't think so. Hey, man,
he's legit. He's
not anymore. Not anymore. So they were riding the wave, respect to Clark Lee, head coach. But, like, point being, I don't think that's the scenario we're in. So I think there's some I don't want to say he needs help, but if Michigan embarrasses Ohio State again, if IU doesn't play well, against Purdue or in the Big Ten championship game, what have you, if Alabama loses the Iron Bowl, I'm not saying all these things have to happen simultaneously for Jeremiah Love to win the Heisman. I think if that does happen, obviously he should get it. But that seems unlikely. And history shows that it usually goes to the the quarterback. So regardless, I'm all about team glory, and I want Jay Love to be successful as much as I want Notre Dame as a team to be successful, and that's where we're at. So
you don't think they're going to throttle him down? They're going to let him go, and then, like, at some point they're
no. I think if anything, you're going to feature him more, because what do you have to lose? Like,
why is JTL saying thumbs down? What's the matter?
Well, let's bring Irish JTL on. He isn't like that. That's fine. You'll bring him on. Look. To me, one of these things is like, look, I want team glory. I want Notre Dame to be successful. Obviously, I want national championship. That's first and foremost. Heisman is always secondary to that. And then after that would be, guys in their NFL career or whatever, right? So
I think anyone who says anything differently from that is disingenuous, because nobody talks about the Heisman forever. It's usually the championship.
Yeah, but I mean, Notre Dame doesn't ever shy about talking about all our Heisman winners and Tim Brown. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. We as fans would wear that with a badge of honor and pride. And for someone who has done so much for this team this year and last year, etc., and given so much to this university, I want the most success for him while he's a Notre Dame player. To me, that's winning the Heisman. Okay, I think we'll have a dedicated Heisman type of discussion later. After the Stanford game, we've invited Irish JTL to speak if he so wishes. If not, we're gonna go over to my aunt at Miss Zoom Zoom. Invite her to speak if she so wishes. We can talk about Syracuse if you want, Auntie, or we can just talk about Thanksgiving.
Can you hear me?
Yo, what's up?
What's up? I was thumbs downing you guys a lot.
That you know what? Hey, it's all good, right? We're okay with some. You know what? We all don't have to have groupthink. All right. I just shouted back down. With statistics.
Yeah,
so.
It wasn't about anything you guys were saying. I'm just sick of the quarterback award of the Heisman because I think if you look in a vacuum this year at the best 3 players in the country, there's a wide receiver named Jeremiah, a running back named Jeremiah, and a linebacker named Jacob Rodriguez, who are clearly the 3 best players in the country. I mean, they are the 3 best players in the country.
So I'm not fans of those other 2 teams. So who are those other 2 teams that said players?
Jeremiah Smith for Ohio State, wide receiver.
Oh, okay.
Jacob Rodriguez, a linebacker at Texas A&M, has 7 forced fumbles, 3 interceptions, and 4 touchdowns as a linebacker. He's having a Manti Te'o type season.
Really?
Yeah.
But did he have a crazy interception in Norman, Oklahoma, like Manti did?
I think he probably would have. I mean, the guy is just really good. And if we're really talking about giving there's a best quarterback award, right? It's called the Johnny Unitas Award.
Yep,
And there's a Maxwell Award. Let's stop giving the Heisman to quarterbacks every year, and that's why I was thumbs downing it. The 2 best players in the country are named Jeremiah. And it's just the way it is. So that's why I was thumbs downing, not because of anything you guys were saying. I'm so sick of hearing about Julian Sayin, who is
mid
1 touchdown and 2 interceptions better than Carr, about the exact same completion percentage. Carr's higher in yards per pass.
Yeah, he's only getting the credit because his team is undefeated, and Ohio State's schedule. I mean, what is it on SideGround? I have to look this up. Hold on. I'll throw it back to you.
But
I mean, it's not terrible. Their strength of schedule is 46.
Yeah, but I would.
Okay, there's a bunch of other teams. Oregon's better. Georgia's better. Texas A&M, Alabama.
Yeah.
Fucking Miami has a better strength of schedule. Ole Miss, good God, Oklahoma.
I would point to the last 2 years where Travis Hunter won the Heisman and Colorado went 7-5 or 8-4.
That's ridiculous.
And the year before that, Jaden Daniels went fucking 9-4 at LSU. It's not about wins and losses, and it shouldn't be. It should be about who 8 carries for 171 yards. I don't care if it was Syracuse. It wasn't FBS. This was an FBS Division I.
It's a Division I program. We said that earlier in the show.
Yeah, it's an FBS school. I don't.
There are guys with full rides to Syracuse. Okay, let me put it another way. We're not Syracuse fans in this house, but if say my son is an athlete and he gets a full ride to Syracuse, hell yeah, I'm gonna be like, yeah, go I'll wear orange, whatever. Hopefully it's not a basketball, because that might rub me a little wrong. But I'll say this though: if you get a Division I basketball scholarship, you're in an elite group of people. Okay.
Hey, I think my kid could play Division III baseball as a catcher and shortstop, and I would be incredibly proud if he won a full ride to a Division III baseball school, which I think he will.
We need to talk more, Jason, because we actually want to put my eldest in baseball, because wife and I have already had this conversation. We've already strategized. We was like, okay, which is the ultimate thing for success, longevity of career, this, that, and the other.
Out individually.
Baseball is the sport. I know we're doing a football podcast. I'm with you guys, but as a parent, as a dad, and I'm like, let's just dream big here. Your son makes it to the big leagues, and he's playing for pick your favorite, pro team.
Right.
I'm gonna say the Dodgers, okay, because they just won the World Series, and I'm a Dodgers fan for life. Do I need to grab the hat? I won't. Point being, your child is playing for said team. What would you like to do as the parent in retirement? I will happily travel around to every ballpark in this country in a minivan. Well, maybe not a minivan, but a camper or whatever, and go see my son play baseball all around America. That would be amazing.
My kid played the AAA level of USSSA. He hit 8 over-the-fence home runs. He played center if they hit it far. He played short. And then when our catchers both went down, he came in and became the best catcher on the team.
Okay.
He hits the ball. He fields the ball. I truly believe that he could play Division III baseball.
Brilliant.
I don't think he could play Division II. I don't think he could go to LSU. But could he go to Wartburg and Iowa here and get a full ride and get a degree? Absolutely.
Yeah.
You're talking about an FBS Division I school in Syracuse.
Cal State Fullerton, man, they've got a historic baseball playing.
Right, we just beat the shit out of an FBS. Alabama was playing Eastern Illinois. Let's be fucking real, right? Jeremiah Love went 8 carries for 171 yards.
Yeah.
And 3 touchdowns on 8 carries.
Yeah.
Let's be real about the competition we're playing.
I mean, what is that? Like attempts per touchdown. He's scoring a touchdown less than every 4 attempts.
Right.
I have one hand and I'm putting fingers down to quantify the efficiency of Jeremiah Love and our offensive line of allowing and just creating the space and allowing him to run. Maybe that's a function of Syracuse's shitty rush defense.
Which is a very good point. I mean, it can be a function of Syracuse's defense, but
it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter.
No,
when you're doing
we were
that,
moving them off the ball. So he needs to come out and do it again. But I don't want to hear. Mendoza is really good. I'm not taking anything away from him.
No,
I'm not a big Pavia. Sayan's good. The best 3 players in the country are Jeremiah
I think
Smith,
Sayan's
Jeremiah
overrated.
Love,
I actually hot take.
Rodriguez.
I think Ohio State's overrated. I think IU is number 1 because
we'll have to see when they play.
We will see when they play in the Big Ten championship game. I kind of want to go to the game, but I don't know if I can. I actually have not vocalized that with the doc, but
that's not a bad idea. I'm gonna go.
I would wear IU shit, by the way, if I did. But I don't know, the whole IU is doing something a little different, and Ohio State, I think, is can I say they're getting fat and happy? Can I say it that way? I think IU plays with a little bit more hunger. And what really does it for me is they went out to Eugene, to Oregon, and showed dominance, and there was no doubt who was the better team.
And to Iowa.
And Iowa, okay? Ohio State...
Iowa is no joke.
It's no joke. I agree. If Notre Dame was playing Iowa, I would be like, oh, fuck. And I would be all...
Kinnick, yes. At Kinnick, it's a different ball.
I would be in the fetal position because it is not an easy place to play football. I do not think that Ohio State has been tested as much. And if memory serves me well, they're playing at Michigan this year, right?
Yeah, yep.
Okay, now I'm not cheering for Michigan. I never cheer for Michigan unless they're playing USC. And in that situation, I cheer for a Comet. Okay, but the point I'm making is, I don't think that Ohio State has been tested as much as IU. I think IU has had to earn their place as an undefeated team. They're gonna pistol whip Purdue. All right, Purdue's trash, and they've demonstrated at least twice that they can hold muster and not skip a beat, and I think that will serve them well in the Big Ten championship, and we'll see what happens. There are really only two. I was thinking about this today because I drove my kid to school, his last day of school before the Thanksgiving break, and then we'll roll over to some other people here, Jason, and for your last thoughts. But I'll say this. I was thinking of the rankings because I knew it was going to come out today. I knew we were going to do the podcast tonight, right? And I was like, all right, who are the teams that freak me out? All right. Texas A&M, no. Miami, hell no. Everyone else, I think we have a good shot against Oklahoma, Bama, Ole Miss, everyone. There's only two teams that bother me. Number one is Ohio State, only because of historical struggles we've had since 1936. Okay.
Yeah.
And the other one is actually IU. Look, I realize they just learned how to play college football last year. Respect. Okay. But my point is that is a good football team. Okay. I do these stats. I go through the rankings, right? Sorry, I couldn't resist.
No, you're good.
But IU is playing very good football, and Signetti is a very good coach. Okay, if Marcus Freeman retired, went to heaven with Jesus, whatever, and we had to hire one guy, I would say the top person on that list would be Signetti. Okay,
so
that's just me. That's just me. So
I'll leave you with this, and then
there are two teams that bother me, and it's the two teams from the Big Ten.
Yep, I'll leave you with this, and I'll let you respond, and I'll be done. But IU doesn't bother me yet.
Okay.
Only because I'm not sold on Oregon.
That's fair.
Iowa at home is a tough gig against anybody, and I get what they did. I'm not sold on Illinois. IU, I got to see something. I got to see a big-time game. Ohio State, what bothers me about Ohio State is you've got a freshman who's very efficient, probably the most efficient in the country.
Yeah, but he's got the best receivers to fucking throw to.
That's what I was going to say. He's throwing to two first-round receivers.
Yeah.
Every game. But
that's a wide receiver
yeah, but the thing about Ohio State that really scares me this year is Matt Patricia, who everybody kind of wrote off. He was the New England Patriots D coordinator, went to the Lions as a head coach, couldn't quite cut it. But the guy disguises coverages and had quarterbacks seeing ghosts. And against CJ, who I love, but is young, the way he disguises coverages and the way that defense plays fast and downhill really, really bothers me from a matchup standpoint. So I think that OSU, being the defending champ, having Carnell Tate and Jeremiah Smith, and then Caleb Downs and the way that defense is playing and the way that Patricia can disguise coverages is, I think it's a year where most of the time you're like, fuck, how are we going to outscore Ohio State? And I think this year it's, fuck, how are we going to score on Ohio State?
Yeah.
And that's just kind of how I look at things. And
Ohio State is very good defensive stats. We won't bust the bank tonight, but consistently this year, as I do my weekly stat piece when I compare Notre Dame to their opponent, I'll tell you what, Ohio State is up there on a lot of these defensive statistics, and I agree with you 100%. All right, at Irish JTL.
Yield my time back.
Thank you so much. The man from Iowa, the speaker from Iowa. Thank you so much. Jason, I hope you have a fantastic Thanksgiving. Hopefully you're not traveling too far for Thanksgiving.
I'm not traveling. I'm hosting like I always do. We have the biggest house. I'm going to do 100% of the cooking.
Oh, there you go.
I got a turkey, a ham, a breast, and a whole bunch of sides and desserts planned, and
brilliant.
I'll have my family here. I'm going to ask one thing of you guys. I'm going to ask one thing. I'm not a praying type. I'm a good vibes kind of guy, but
okay.
My sister-in-law went into labor last night. Yes, my sister-in-law went into labor last night. She's not due till March.
Oh, my.
They C-section the baby. She's 2.5 pounds. She's in an incubator on a vent, and she was coming one way or another, so she came 14 weeks early. So prayers, good vibes, or whatever you do for my niece would be appreciated. I think she's a fighter and she'll be okay, but anything you guys want to throw, prayers, or good vibes this way, I'll take it.
I appreciate it, Jason. What's baby's name?
Her name is Molly Joe.
Molly?
Molly Joe, yeah.
Molly Joe. All right, prayers for Molly Joe and good vibes. So, absolutely. It's interesting. My mom was a NICU, NICU nurse for 20, 30 years, whatever. And so, when your mom works in that environment, you go see her at work or whatever, this, that, and the other. So you kind of get surrounded with that. So that I was very aware of those kind of situations. To you and your family and all of that, to Molly Joe, absolutely. Gosh, that's pretty rough. But you know what? Hey, she came when she was supposed to come, right? Like mom and baby know, like the ladies, the woman's, the mother's body knows, like, hey, this is what we got to do right now. So. That's what happens. So, the concern is always the development of the other organs, but usually the heart and the brain are really developed and ready to go. So we're just waiting for everything else to catch up. So, absolutely, Jason, will do. And as a parent as you are, you can appreciate the angst of the situation. So, no doubt. All right. Irish JTL, thank you so much. Let's see if Miss Zoom Auntie, are you available to discuss this Syracuse game? Are you there? Miss Zoom. If not, it says you're speaker. I'm not sure if that's going on or if X is wigging out. Miss Zoom, if you're on, we'll bring you on. Uh-oh. Is X freaking out on the space? Uh-oh. Didn't like what we were talking about, apparently. Oh, that's not good. Oh, no, the app is crashing. All right. Sorry, everybody. X sucks. All right. So this is where we're going to have some instrumental music. We're going to pause all this garbage on X here, right? Oh, that's funny. I think we need to have some like jazz or something here. This is really bad podcasting, right? So. And the space crashed over on X here, so now we're gonna start it again. Did I lose internet at my house? Good God, what the fuck is going on here? I was thinking about it. Thank you, YouTube people. This is awful. Well, it's definitely not the internet. I think X and Twitter have decided to take a shit on us tonight. Was hearing that there were some other issues with X going on this week. So, all right. Well, you know, look, we'll continue on with the podcast here. I have a handful of other things to say. I talked about Stanford a little bit. Like I said, they're not a good football team. We'll just go back to our roots for people here on YouTube channel. All right, here we go. All right, X is coming up. You just got to be patient. We're gonna try to connect. We'll see if we can let it go. All right, so X sucks right now. Whatever. Nope, doesn't like it. So we'll see if this happens. So, man, it totally throws me off this bad podcasting. So. All right, enough of the crazy weird jazz. All right, we'll just go old school with podcasting here. So anyway, for anyone who's on YouTube, thank you for joining us. There's a handful of things we want to talk about. Fortunately, all of y'all get to see the beautiful spreadsheet here. With that, obviously we kill Syracuse. But there are some statistics with Stanford I would like to talk to. So Frank Rich or Reich, I'm not sure how to pronounce that. He was hired as the interim coach. I know there's a lot of shit going on here. Here, let's get rid of the Syracuse column. Yes, we're excited for the playoffs over here. But the point is, I mean, this is his first year coaching. He's the interim coach, obviously, because Troy Taylor was fired for bullying. I'm not sure exactly what that means, but they're 4-7, right? His record is not great. Clearly, it's not better than Marcus Freeman's. Now, what's interesting is I did think that their strength of schedule was interesting because it's better than Notre Dame. They're 26, we're 27. And then red zone scoring defense, they are better than Notre Dame, but are we surprised? We're not. Red zone touchdown defense, they're also better than Notre Dame. 13, we're 22nd. We're not terrible, unlike red zone scoring defense, but that's a that's a function of our kicking not being very good. A few other things I want to talk about. Passing defense. Stanford is awful at passing defense. They're 135th in the country. They're second worst behind NC State, a team we already beat. So I'm happy that Notre Dame should be able to pass all over their ass. Now, earlier in the show, clearly we were talking about we need a good rushing attack. We need to feature Jeremiah Love. I'm with you there. That's what we need to do. But then their rush offense, not good as well. Okay. 133rd in the country versus our 19th. That green right there for people watching on YouTube, that's better than national champion average. And what's interesting, and let's jump back over to the Syracuse columns here. What I'd like to show with this is, and this is kind of more of a holistic view, kind of just more of a macro view of things. Syracuse, obviously we beat the shit out of them, and we dominated in the column AR versus them, right? There was only 2 statistics that they were better than Notre Dame at, right? So Stanford, there's 3. Okay, so I guess, they won't lose by 63. Okay, fair enough. Point I'm making is look at the green, from yellow to green, from the Syracuse game column to the Stanford column. Okay, there's a lot more green. Total touchdowns. Obviously, we scored a lot of points in that game. We are number 2 in the country in scoring touchdowns. The only team that has scored more touchdowns than Notre Dame is North Texas. North Texas, obviously, is whoever they are, but Notre Dame is second in the country. That is the number 2 most important stat I have, other than scoring margin. And Notre Dame is nipping at the heels of being better than a national champion average in scoring margin. And a lot of these statistics go that way. Scoring offense went from yellow to green. Sacks per game. On defense, we are now 9th in the country, averaging 3 sacks per game. Rushing yards clearly went more. I mean, we had more rushing yards than total yards that Syracuse had. And then yards per point is exceeding national champion average, went from 11.9 to 10.9 down here. So fantastic stuff. So the amount of growth from yellow to green, and I expect that this column to get more green as we go into our first playoff game, assuming a victory over Syracuse, against Stanford. That's like the 5th time I've done that. Again and again and again. A couple other things at the end here. Rushing attempts per touchdown improved from 13.1 to 11.5. Passing attempts per touchdown stayed very flat and even. Didn't really change just because we really didn't pass. So we can't really move the needle. Now, I will say this. There's one thing I forgot to mention with respect to yards per point. The stat I always talk to, it's kind of the bread and butter. If there was one stat I had to summarize this entire podcast, it would be yards per point. We were 5.7. So good. Embarrassingly good. Suspiciously good. Obviously, we had 2 pick sixes and 1 blocked punt for a touchdown and a ton of other points. If I took away those first 3 touchdowns, they didn't happen. And then I looked at our yards per point, it would still be 8.1. It's still less than 10. It's less than 9. It's better than national champion average. So Notre Dame played very well, clearly, against Syracuse. We should beat the shit out of the Cardinal out in Palo Alto. So, unfortunately, X sucks tonight. And so we're going to roll with that. Let's double check to see if we have any chat on. We do. Let's see. Okay. All right. So 522 yards is record. FPS, single rushing game. Okay. All right. All right. So Pelo Jace is giving us some love here in some of the statistics. We're a little late on that. But that being said, I think we're going to call it a night. That's the universe telling me that to end the podcast. So thank you, everyone, for who has joined us. I'm very sorry that X sucks. Go send your complaints to Elon Musk and whatever. It is what it is. So, I'll say this. It's really fun to end the season in a situation like this, where Notre Dame is playing well, convincingly well, and we can go from a position of mediocrity and, where we were in the past and uncertainty, and we're trying to use, logic or whatever, and, transitive property logic to say, oh, why we're better. Right now, the statistics don't lie. That's why we do what we do on this show. It becomes very cutthroat, very point to the fact. Look, we didn't play well in the first 2 games. That's why I have 2 losses. That's why we're ranked 9th in the playoffs. That's why right now, today, if the playoffs were to happen, we would not be hosting a game. We would be a visitor in someone else's house. It's what it is, all right? But to see the growth of this football team, to see Marcus Freeman again demonstrate perseverance and instill toughness and growth in his football team, that they are peaking. They are getting better come November and heading into December. That's where we need to be. So I'm a happy camper, and that's where we're going to go. So we'll go out with good old Celtic chant. That's what we went out with last time, and I think that's how we're going to roll. So thank you, everyone, for joining us for Volume 170 of All Time. Thank you for joining the Fighting Irish Faithful Podcast. I am Joe at Faithful_Irish on X. Brought to you by Dos Leprechauns Media. Proudly powered by Scotch and Spreadsheets. Thank you so much for being part of us. And go Irish, beat Stanford, and have a happy Thanksgiving. Safe travels to everybody. God bless you all. Good night.